All right, we're going to cover all four teams that are playing in the double header, and we're going to start with the Canterbury Bulldogs. And there was a scare last week with Matty Burton with his hamstring. He's over here. We spoke to their coach, Cameron Serrato, only last night. He said there was nothing in it. He's going to be fit to play. He's 100%. Reedy, is it true?
Well, Braith, I've been with the team all week. I've been at nearly every one of their training sessions. He's looked fine. There's been no indication of any injury. I mean, he's been kicking freely. He's looked great. He's participated in all the training sessions, all the simulated game activities. I don't think there's an issue with Matt Burton.
Okay, that's good news.
Reedy, what about Locky Galvin? He was the most spoke about player last year. What about the media ban? Does that work
it's
for you guys?
Well, it doesn't work for us because we want to talk to him, Gordie. But it's not a permanent media ban. This is only a thing to allow Locky Galvin to focus on the start of the year without any added pressure on his shoulders. And we all know what he went through last year, right? We were talking about him every week on this show. And I think he needs a bit of clear air, a bit of clear space, get into the season. He will talk.
But is that worrying signs, right? If you can't stand there, right? And this is and stand in front of the media, and we've all had to do it when we've been in trouble or whatever, walking through judiciary. If you can't go and stand to the media, how are you expected to run a footy side?
Gordie, I don't think it's a Locky Galvin decision. I don't think Locky's gone to the club and said, I don't want to talk.
Well, they did it last year anyway.
I think the club's made
He wasn't talking last year anyway, right? So it hasn't really changed.
No.
And I suppose, Gordie, they just want to... Because even though it is a little bit unusual, I think we'd all love to hear from him, for the fans' perspective as well. He's had a lot of pressure on him, and more so than probably anyone else. But like you said, he needs to handle pressure because that's what makes you great, in our game. So it's a big one for him. What about him playing number 7? It was hard to talk to his coach and captain while they were here about it. They're obviously very confident. All rumours are out of camp that he's been sensational in the pre-season. Fit as a fiddle, great energy and all the rest. But is he a number 7 and will he do a good job as the Bulldogs halfback?
I think the issue is not so much around Locky Galvin being the number 7. It's that combination, right? The combination between Matt Burton and Locky Galvin. I don't love it. I don't think it works. I think we've got two guys who their best asset is running the footy, playing off the cuff a little bit. Can they create... The question for mine is, can they create enough for their outside men? And they've got some strike out wide, the Bulldogs. Can those guys do enough to get service the big-name players that they've got on the outside?
Mick, you're spot on, and you're not alone on that opinion. Reedy, you've been inside the camp. Yeah. So have they been working with him one-on-one, trying to evolve his game or turn his game more into a traditional 7, or do they want him to just continue to play the way that he did last year?
Well, Braith, I haven't gone down to that minutiae with them, Braith. They haven't shared that with me, but I don't think you can understate how important it is that he had a full pre-season with them. You remember, he came in last year mid-season, right? Was just thrust in and expected to lead this team around the park. He's had a full pre-season now to do that, to work on his combination with Matt Burton, to work on his combination with Jacob Preston. And I reiterate, I don't think you can underestimate how important that is for Lachlan. He is a smart footballer.
He is.
Like you talk to people about Locky Galvin, they'll tell you he's a highly intelligent guy, and they're very confident he can lead this team around. I mean, he has to, because it's not with anyone else there who can do it.
I like Sean Sullivan.
You do?
Well, I mean in the side that was named. Yeah. I mean the side that's named.
Oh, yeah. He's the...
So Sullivan's a chance of starting at 7?
No, not at all. Not in round 1, not at all, no.
But you would go with O'Sullivan over Galvin at 7?
I would go Sullivan and Galvin combination and Matt Burton at centre. I think that just... Sean O'Sullivan...
What do you do with Bronson Cherry, Nick?
I don't think he was great last year, Bronson Cherry. I don't think he produced... He had a really good first year back at Canterbury. I don't think he was able to get to that same level again at the Bulldogs. And if you've got Crichton and Burton on either edge, and you've got Sean just being able to kick, pass, and get this team around, that frees up all those players.
But what about Burton's future? Because we keep on hearing Woods too. He's another young half that they say eventually will end up wearing a number 7.
Well, the problem for Mitch Woods is he's had multiple hamstring injuries now, and he's not here in Vegas, right? Because he's had a hamstring problem again, and he's sidelined for the start of the year. So that's an issue for them because that's inhibited his development, Gordie. So, I would have thought, before he got this latest injury, I would have thought maybe he's the halfback back by the end of the year. I'm not sure if that happens now because his development's been impacted so much over the past 2 years by hamstring problems. And Mick's right. I mean, if it doesn't work, they can turn to Sean. Sean's there. I mean, he's a highly intelligent... You talk to anyone about Sean O'Sullivan, they'll tell you this guy's going to be a coach one day. Highly intelligent footballer. He's a great backup for them. But I think for them to win the comp, this combination has to work.
And what about Burton's future? Then he's got 1 year to go.
Well, if Woods comes through, I mean, Perth are watching Matt Burton and situation. Matt Burton.
Well, you said that you think Woods will end up at 7.
I think he will eventually.
So if he ends up at 7, Then Galvin goes to 6. Burton gets moved out into the centres. He's off contract next year, I believe. He's
next year.
Next year. Is all directions pointing to Matt Burton possibly moving on?
Well, I think the issue there is, Brad, you're going to have 2 centres. You cannot, in the modern game, have 2 centres on $1 million a year. And Matt Burton's on about, I think he might be on over $1 million. Steve Crichton's on big money. You can't have that in the modern game. It throws your salary cap out of whack. So something has to give. Yeah. And Burton's the obvious guy.
And I think let's not be premature here, because we haven't kicked the ball yet. No. We've got a combination of 2 guys who are elite. You know, Galvin and Burton are elite rugby league players. They are. And Galvin's got such a big future ahead of him. Burton's a rep player. And we haven't seen the combination after a full pre-season. So, yeah, we're talking about the what-ifs, but they could come out and kill it and, you know, who knows. But is there pressure on the Dogs this year? Finishing third, it's kind of falling off a cliff at the back end there and not really firing a shot in the finals. You know, Cameron Soriano says he doesn't really care too much for the outside noise and the expectations and pressures, but the reality
is... the expectations are higher, Braith, I believe, with them. And everybody knows who the Bulldogs are. I thought they may have surprised people last year, but I think there is pressure on them. Reedy, do you?
I think that's a wrap for Cameron Soriano. There is pressure, because the expectation now is the very minimum expectation is top 4. Like, if they don't make the top 4, it's a disappointing season for me, because they've set a standard so high.
What about the external noise? Do you reckon it worries them?
No, well, it's hard to avoid. Like, last year was a completely out-of-the-box situation, right? The external noise was crazy last year because of the Galvin situation. That won't happen. I don't imagine that will happen again this year.
But you know, Reedy, after the first couple of games, if they lose, everyone's going to be talking about the halves. But it's not just the halves, Brace. You look at, they got a relatively new hooker, right? Bailey Hayward hasn't been week in, week out NRL playing the number 9 jersey, hasn't started a lot of games, hasn't had to play big minutes, right? So I think we're understating that impact on the side as well. So there are some question marks. As much as there's all this goodwill and talk around the Dogs, I really feel like there's some question marks around
I also do believe, too, that the Dogs will be top 8 comfortably.
Yeah.
They'll be on the edge of the top 4, and even if they don't get the combination right in the halves, they'll still be there because they're tough. They've got a great defensive system, an unbelievable culture and great leaders. So they're going to be there, but we're talking about just that element or that piece of the puzzle that wins them a premiership, and can they get that done with their spine? You know, that's the big one.